this is the Democratic Socialists of America co-chair. Let me summarize what he says in this video.
Our candidates run as Democrats. We're on the Democratic Party ballot line. We contest the primaries. And
wow, it's just like how libertarians are winning seats in New Hampshire by running as conservatives, except they actually want to fix shit instead of making the country worse. Crazy that.
When they're in the legislature, they're part of the Democratic Party caucus. But we don't agree with the way the Democratic Party establishment organizes or runs its party apparatus, and so we try to build independence by focusing on volunteer-led movement. We think that everyone should be able to be trained and to become someone who can participate in the political process, and we don't really think that Democratic Party campaigns in the establishment are run that way. And I think you really see that difference in the races like we're having tonight. And I think in terms of the agenda, there's a problem in the Democratic Party where they are funded by billionaire donors, and at the same time they're trying to represent the working class. And in our opinion, you have to choose between the billionaire class and the working class. It's just impossible to satisfy all of them.
I think there's multiple interesting things going on here. First of all, going back to Asmon, going back to everyone can hate the rich, but do you have the courage to hate the poor? It's a two-pronged issue. See, the people who are rich oppress you on the basis of appeasing the people who are poor and should be oppressed. The 2% of people who should either be completely disenfranchised or executed because they are violent criminals are the ones who actually oppress you. They're the ones who actually cause the problems. The billionaires and the rich people just pass legislation to make it easier for the poors to oppress you. It's fucking obnoxious. He was so close to realizing that they don't represent the people because they don't get their money from them. So close. So close. And back to some socialism nonsense. Tom Emmer talking about Minnesotans. Elon Musk saying he's absolutely fucking right, bro.
Guess what?
What?
There is nothing racist about calling out a criminal.
True.
So when I say that it's time. It's time. I mean, this is what they do in the great state of Minnesota. You know our culture, that scanning.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask where he found that many white people still living in Minnesota, but then it's a conservative lawmakers town hall.
Scandinavian culture. By the way, I better make it clear before I go any farther. Minnesotans, are there any here? Ah, good. Then let me just say. Okay, well, born, yeah, you're wearing that hat. You must be from northern Minnesota, the Iron Range. No.
What?
Probably closer to Iowa. No, I'm going to leave that alone. The reason I bring it up is because I tell people regularly, Minnesota did not create passive-aggressive behavior, but we did perfect it, okay? And I happen to be more on the aggressive side, which doesn't always work in Minnesota, as Ralph will tell you. You know, sometimes Minnesotans
is that humor?
are
Can
so
a local
afraid
confirm
that
if
you're
he's
gonna call
funny?
us a racist. You're going to call us an Islamophobe. You're going to call us some name that we just don't want to get into that fight. You know what?
They call you that because they know that you will stop trying to defend yourself if they call you bad word. They know under your principles, you believe those things to be bad. And so they call you those things because they know that you believe those things to be bad. And you will stop defending yourself and let them kill you if they call you those things. That is literally what's been happening for like 20 years now.
But I'm done being careful, even the least bit careful. And I don't really care where you come from. But if you come to this great country, you have to understand you're coming here to be an American.
Yep.
We celebrate everyone's culture. We're happy with that, as long as you are an American. Celebrate your culture. I don't care. Italian, Polish, Somali, okay? But they don't assimilate. And if they don't assimilate, then they should go the hell back to where they came from.
If you have more pride in the country that you came from than America, if you want more benefits for your home country than you want for America, you are not an American. You are here to take advantage of us. and you should leave. Either by your own volition or we will force you to leave, is the point that we have gotten to.
Sorry, Ralph. I know this is a family show. I can't help myself today.
He didn't even say anything. But what do you mean you know this is a family show? What does he mean by this? You came to another country, you must assimilate into that country's culture or go home. And it seems like assimilate is going to be the next word that they try to subversify, as it were. So Ilhan Omar quote retweeted this and said, I assimilated all the way to Congress and this idiot still tells me to go back to where I came from. Ilhan Omar needs to go back to where she came from. She needs to be tried. She needs to be found guilty for coming here fraudulently, and she needs to be sent the fuck back. Committing immigration fraud is not assimilating. Committing greater fraud by allowing your Somali ethnics to defraud different systems like our Medicare system to enrich themselves is not assimilating. This lady is fucking crazy and should have zero position, zero say in any kind of laws being passed in our country. She is not for our country. She is not now, and she never will be an American, and she does not want to be an American, which is the important part of it. Ilhan Omar should spend her life in Guantanamo Bay with the other terrorists, you know? She infiltrated all the way to Congress. Yes, that's exactly what I said when I quote retweeted this. She infiltrated, she did not assimilate. Brandon Gill also quote retweeting her saying, you haven't assimilated, and there's a clip here. I am very honored to have the chance that our president of Somalia, President Hasan Sheikh Mohammed, let us give him a warm welcome, Minneapolis. The president and I have a special relationship. I call him uncle and he calls me his girl. Welcome to your home. Our home is your home. Welcome to Minneapolis. We are very happy that Hasan is our president. Somalia is our home. It is home to all the people gathered here. We do not feel that it is far from us. Somalia is our heart. It is in our hearts. We always think about Somalia. And if that's the case, if you have allegiance to another country, you do not belong in our government. You do not deserve a position leading over American people if your position is to put other countries above America. You should not be here. You should not be in a position of power. It is a grand testament to our system and its failures that you have been allowed to be elected to Congress and as well stay in Congress as long as you have. Our system is faulty and we must figure out how to fix it. And the USA say Europe is bad? Europe is bad. I don't know if you realize this, but we're kind of in the same fucking breadbasket, brother man. It's in their hearts and their bananas and rice. Somalia is my everything. Then go back. No. It's a human rights violation to send me back to the country that I came from. I know this wouldn't work on anyone in my country, but it'll work on you because you're a dumb white retard. Does that chatter not know who the mayor of London is? I mean, look at our mayor of New York, buddy man. Again, we are in the same breadbasket. I will make fun of, like, the Brit bongs and whatnot, but they are in the same challenge bucket as us. Europe is just like America, but with no AC. True. You're so tired of the traitors pretending these are Americans? Yes, it's all so fucking tiresome. It's obnoxious. It's like we've spent so long being chastised by recognizing reality that it's just gotten to this point. I like every time you decry this stuff, someone's like, well, what about Israel? Yeah, I don't want my politicians fucking talking about Israel either. Like, it's insane that a lying communist was the only person to correctly answer, where are you going to take a trip after you win the election if you win? Everyone except Mamdani said Israel. And Mamdani said, well, yeah, I'm going to stay in New York City. That's the correct answer. If a communist who is a liar gets the answer correct and no one else does, You are in a really fucking bad situation. 11 years ago, Tom Emmer yelled at his own voters for being racist for not wanting Somalis moved into their communities. Tom Emmer is now where his voters were 11 years ago. How do we fix something like this, right? How do we fix? Because, like, was he lying? Was he lying to people overtly back then when he was saying we're gonna airdrop these Somalians into your communities even though you don't want them? Or was he actually just this fucking stupid and out of touch? Either way, it's bad. But how can you tell the difference between a politician who's doing this maliciously and one who is just fucking stupid?
He told me he started freaking out about this exactly 1 year ago. It was in July of 2015 at a town hall meeting in St. Cloud.
I wish all of you guys would give him a big hand here at ACES.
This is Bobby's local congressman, Tom Emmer. They're at the ACES bar in downtown St. Cloud. The room is packed. People are squished in around the bar. This is one of many town halls Emmer does regularly all over the district. And it's going normally, a little awkwardly, till this guy says, I think most of us are here to find out how you feel about assimilation of immigrants. Assimilation of immigrants. The congressman is confused, so the questioner clarifies.
We did not ask for those Somalis. Nobody asked us if we in St. Cloud want those Somalis, and we understand that social groups like the Lutheran Social Service and the Catholic Charities.
Can I just point out, every single time a community has been like completely swarmed and overwhelmed with a bunch of Somalians or a bunch of Indians, or like there's a weird technically legal program going on where like an entire graduating class happens to be foreigners who are going to be fast-tracked from a student visa to a different kind of work visa. The Lutherans are always behind it. I don't know what the fuck this is. Is the like Lutheran sect of Christianity not even real? Was this just like made the fuck up to facilitate fraud? How is it always this one sect of people? What the fuck? I don't understand.
They're dumping them in areas like St. Cloud. Okay, and so the question is, how many more are coming? We didn't ask for these people. Everybody that you read about is talking about this. So that is a main issue in this city. There is no control. The people have no control over any immigration. The mayor doesn't. I don't know.
Congressman Emmer is like, what are you even talking about? If someone's here legally, you don't get a say in whether they come into your city.
Jesus.
And he fires a warning shot at the implicit racism here against Somalis, as if to say, don't go further down this road, you guys.
And if you're asking me how I feel about immigrant populations who are in this country legally and who are actually trying to find a better way for themselves and their families, I support it wholeheartedly.
No. America is not an economic zone for anyone of anywhere to come and reap our benefits and then fucking leave. We are a country. No other country would be willing to tolerate what we have. This is insanity. And like, whenever I hear that fucking like, they're trying to find a better way for themselves and their family, they're just trying to take care. I don't fucking care! They're not my people, they're not my problem! They can go back to their country and build a better life for themselves there. They can make their countries better. They can improve things for the people in their countries. I don't understand this logic.
I mean, the Germans had the same problem when they came over. The Polish had the problem. The Chinese had the problem.
We have
I'm an
problem.
Irish.
No. We have a different problem.
They didn't come to subvert the Constitution.
You're not addressing the idea that they're not being assimilated.
It's actually insane to hear just like average people telling this politician they're subverting things, bro. They're actually doing damage. They're subversive. They're communistic. And he's just like, no, you're racist. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
The other people
I'm going to tell you, the Somalis, according to the measurements that have been used over time, are some of the fastest assimilating populations that we've had.
What a fucking retard! That collective room groan of like, don't just lie to our faces. How fucking dumb do you think we are? Jesus fucking Christ. You see, when I tweeted out that video of that dysgenic looking gentleman being like, I realized I was the bad guy eventually. That's great. If some of these people wake up and realize, oh fuck, I was the bad guy, that's great. That's wonderful. Don't fucking trust them. These are people who are like deadly committed to ruining your life and your country. It's great if they can wake up and realize, oh fuck, that's what I was doing, but they're not someone who should ever be trusted in any capacity.
There are Somalis in the room too.
I hear all the time the word assimilation. You know, I feel myself assimilated.
I speak English, I have a job, I have a family, I drive the same streets every day just like you. What's the thing that's missing? You should not be afraid of Muslims here.
If you guys have any questions, anything to talk about, come to us. We'll answer all your questions. We will address your fears. But I don't think there's nothing we have to fear in America.
I always think, like, when I hear this kind of thing coming from people who we know are lying, it's just like, do you think that the people who lie directly to the faces of the American people here, do you think that they would specifically request to be the one that beheads them later? Or, like, do they just get assigned a region? I don't exactly know how that works. He's the captain now.
Some people in the room don't buy it. They push back and demand a vote on refugees. Emmer pushes back too.
I'm going to say it out loud. When you move to a community, as long as you are here legally, I am very sorry, but you don't get to slam the gate behind you and tell nobody.
Yes, actually, you do. It is every American, every natural-born American's right to slam the door closed on any foreigner for any fucking reason. Because it is our country. It is not their country. This is not Somalia. This is not France. This is not Russia. This is America. And that is our right as Americans. Yes, you are fucking retarded.
Else that they're welcome. That's not the way this country works. And if we're going to talk about...
I didn't think it was a problem until somebody I knew really well, because they got upset.
This is Tom Emmer talking about that night.
They said, sounds like you're telling us. You're not listening to us.
That's true, he is.
We also work hard, and we also pay our taxes, and we also have kids to raise and go to school. And there's a huge economic burden placed on us now. And I think part of the fear that some of you talked about, our fear, is that we don't feel in control of what's happening in our city. It is out of our control. Where is our say on what happens to our schools?
It is absolutely out of all of our control. And there are very, very few politicians that are advocating for anything that would be of benefit to American citizens. If you look at both the left and a good majority of the right, all they do is advocate for foreigners, for foreign nations. Whether it's the Democrats wanting to keep in tons of illegals from who knows where, whether it's Democrats facilitating fraud for foreigners in any kind of our government systems, or whether it's the Republicans pledging allegiance to Israel like it's some sort of king, and that's their real home nation. Regardless of what it is, no one, almost no one in a position of power in America gives a single fucking shit about Americans. And it's so tiresome. As an American, my politicians should be putting us first. There should be no talks about Israel. There should be no talks about Somalia. There should be no talks about Ukraine. I don't give a fuck about any of those places because they're not called the United States of America. Holy shit. Why is this so difficult for our politicians to understand?
I know that you heard us. I feel you told us.
And I thought I'd been listening all night. So then I stopped and I said, because then I thought, this is a problem because this person is not that way.
Say what you mean, this person is not that way. What does that mean?
They're reasonable. They listen. They're compassionate. They have definite, strong views, right? Their views are much like mine. I've known them for a long time. And this person was clearly frustrated. And so I stopped and I said, I apologize. What is it that you would like your congressman to do?
You're our only chance because
For what? Sue, what is it that you want?
Okay.
What is it that you want from me?
I think I speak for a lot of people. I think the city of St. Cloud needs a breather. And we need to assimilate with the people
What
that
does
are
that
trying
mean?
to
What does that mean?
a break on the influx of a period of time so we could take a little
here's the thing.
breather and all
Your
this
last statement, though, we take a little breather. If you guys can just hold on. It was, say it out loud. Are you suggesting that no more immigrants should be allowed to come to St. Cloud until you have...
Correct. The whole U.S.
The whole United States. All right. Here's the thing. All I can do is respond as open and honest as I can, Sue. That's not something that I can do. That's not something that our Constitution says that we do with people who are...
And that was the first time.
Once again, if our Constitution offers more protection to the people who are conquering us than it does to us as its citizens, it is time to destroy the Constitution. Because if it is used as nothing but a subversive tool to conquer our nation, it is a worthless document to us. And that is astoundingly horrific to say, because it should be something that is exalted. It should be something that we can hold dear to our country. But it has been used as a cudgel to destroy us. And that is not okay.
That I think I realized that even good people, really good people, because I know this person. This person is not a xenophobe, not a racist. I know this person for several years.
This was a big moment for Tom Emmer. This is when he understood two surprising things. First, his voters want a ban on Muslims. They want no more Somali immigrants coming to their town. And second, the voters who want this, they aren't fringe weirdos. These are people he knows and likes and respects.
That's insane. How he was so fucking out of touch. Destroying the Constitution won't solve anything. Actually enforcing it will. I mean, I would agree with you, but we're not going to be allowed to do that. Our judicial branch is entirely compromised. And unless we can get rid of activist judges, we will not be able to do anything. And our Constitution will continuously be used to conquer the American people instead of protecting them. We have literally halted immigration before, and we can do it again. Yes, we have, and we should. The issue is the judiciary who interprets the Constitution and warps its meaning. And it's like, we've had some wins from the Supreme Court, abso-fucking-lutely. And it's great to see that from the Supreme Court. But does it matter if the Supreme Court hands down something and collectively our entire judicial branch says, yeah, we don't care. We're going to still interpret it the way that we want to. Sadly, so far beyond what we're allowed to do, we have to not worry about that and not listen. Like every time I see another federal judge blocking, or not a federal judge, whatever, but like a judge blocking any kind of federal action or federal injunction, I'm just like, just fucking say no. Just fucking say no. I'm so fucking exhausted of this game, of these actual children trying to play politics and just giving in to them because, oh, well, we have to do everything the right way, even though they're not. Rifile, thank you. The Constitution is not the issue. The judiciary is acting on its own. Right, but when I say, like, it needs to be destroyed, I'm not saying, like, actually rip it the fuck up, but I'm saying if we are holding ourselves to the T of the Constitution, and the judiciary and the Democrats are acting contrary to the Constitution while claiming the Constitution offers more protections for foreigners than it does for citizens, we need to stop going by the T. We will lose. If we are going to do that, we are going to lose, we are going to be destroyed, and our country is going to be irreversibly changed. You don't really see the issue. We've interpreted the Constitution in weird ways all the time because our politicians are weak men. They are weak men who are incapable of saying no. They're not weak, they're evil. I would say both, right? I would say some are obviously outright evil, but others are weak and who will just do the bidding of whoever pays them the most money. Like, they just try to pretend they're not doing harm while enriching themselves, and it's tiresome. Someone said, what the fuck, Matt Walsh goes full fascist on camera. He literally begs for a new era of McCarthyism to systemically destroy anyone who opposes his corrupt conservative agenda.
Itself, live and alive from the heart of the inflection point of the American communist movement.
This has nothing to do with Zohran's clout. This has everything to do with whether or not democratic socialists can door knock and have the capacity to mobilize against tremendous amounts of money pouring in from outside expenditures. It's an inside-outside movement. You obviously have to keep applying pressure with direct action. You have to, engage in labor militancy, work stoppages, things of that nature. but then also simultaneously, you got to have people on the inside as well.
It's the decade of socialism. It's coming to a neighborhood near you. When I said we were going to let 1,000 Zohrans bloom, this is what I meant.
What is 1,000 Soros bloom? What does that even fucking mean, brother? What the hell?
And we need a new wave of it if we don't want to end up exactly like the Soviet Union did. McCarthy helped save us from going down this direction in the 1950s. And by following his lead, we can do it again. We can wage a war on third world communism and destroy anyone who subscribes to this idea.
I know there's a lot of people who don't exactly like Matt Walsh, but I will give Matt Walsh the big props. Years ago, even before he released the What is a Woman documentary, Matt Walsh was saying, we need to stop handling these people with kid gloves. It doesn't matter if they call you mean. You have to do what needs to be done. So he has been incredibly consistent on what needs to happen in order to get rid of communistic threats. Hasan's an absolute moron if he thinks 2026 NYC is representative of America. I think that if you don't realize Hasan is absolutely correct in what he's saying here, you do not quite realize how bad things have gotten in the US yet. We not only have New York being inherently controlled by communists now, but we've had socialist communists elected in Washington, in Virginia. We've had them in California. We have other people in other states who are running on a social democrat platform, which is just, again, them obfuscating the fact that they're outright communists. It is a countrywide problem. Yeah, Michigan is another one. Thank you. It's going to become a huge problem. Just in blue stronghold cities. Oh, you mean like that one hijabi that was running as a Republican who's obviously not a Republican? The problem is huge and it is widespread, and you must get involved in your local politics. You must. It is like no longer an option at this point. They're coming out of the woodwork and no one is doing shit. It's because no one takes it seriously, right? When you say communist, and when I've been talking about how this is communist subversion for years, even people in my own chat would push back on me like, oh, Kirsche, it's not actual communism. It's just a bit of woke shit. It's like, what the fuck do you think is pushing it? What kind of fucking tactics do you think they're using? Holy shit, brother man. Cleanse the communist. Let 1,000 flowers bloom was a Chinese communist revolution slogan that called upon all the intellectuals to criticize the government and then proceeded to kill them all. I understand that people get very complacent when you've been living in the peacetime for too long. I like living in the peacetime, but in order to continue living in the peacetime, you need to recognize and oust threats to that peacetime. If you are not able to maintain your peacetime because you can no longer recognize threats, that peacetime will end, and it will end in a very horrific manner. And that's not something I think anybody genuinely wants to have happen. Look at what not communism has already done. Georgia has become the first U.S. state to outlaw Hinduphobia and anti-Hindu bigotry. The state passed H.R. 701 officially condemning discrimination against Indian Americans, and then passed Senate Bill 375 making it a crime. Yes, I'm actually accepting apology letters from everyone who would have autistic meltdowns in chat when I said how much I hated fucking Georgia. I'm accepting them, and also a nice chicken tendy dinner. I'll be accepting that for the next couple of weeks. Don't worry about it. You got time. You got time to write something nice to me. Can we just nuke Atlanta? I hate having this shit on Georgia's name. You think Citizen Vigilante had some great ideas? We'll see. Atlanta's suburbs have some of the fastest growing Hindu populations in the entire nation. An increase in anti-Indian rhetoric may stem from the H-1B visa debate, as Indians receive roughly 70% of them.
Report that Georgia became the first state in the nation to pass a resolution in our General Assembly to condemn anti-Hindu hate. I've also joined in supporting a similar resolution here in the United States House of Representatives, sponsored by my colleague, Representative Sri Thinadar of Michigan. Again, I am pleased to be with you today. I welcome you to Washington.
Sir, it is discriminatory to tell me you don't want to give visa, sir. Frisco, Texas, gonna be next. You can feel it. Guess the rest of the country must hate harder now. Georgia's outlawing people's opinions and thoughts. Or are they outlawing anti-Hindu bias and hiring, which is already a crime? This tab confuses and angers me. Yep. Yeah, I have no fucking idea what the fuck this is supposed to mean. Anyone in Georgia, sue the state on First Amendment grounds. You can even get the Sikhs and Muslims on your side for that. Do not redeem, sir. Mildly OCD, thank you. Anti-discrimination laws already exist, but since you're a special little boy, I'm gonna discriminate against you and make laws that specifically mention you. Every leftist law, pretty much. Discrimination good when they do it.
And in unity against today's Supreme Court decision upholding the Trump administration's cruel and harmful elimination of temporary protected status of our Haitian and Syrian immigrants. I want to say this as clearly as I possibly can. In Massachusetts, we stand with our Haitian and Syrian communities, and we always will.
Fucking Wu standing behind her, looking like her communist handler. Like, you say one wrong thing, we're taking you out, buddy. Temporary, been going on for 18 years. Why is it always women? Do you think that once we actually fix things in our country, if we're still alive and in our old age, we'll see a reduction of women no longer being allowed to serve as politicians? Of our? What the fuck does she mean by this? I have no fucking clue, man. Literally no idea. I have no idea what the fuck people in Massachusetts are doing.
Does the administration consider Haiti a safe country?
For Haitians, absolutely.
For Haitians?
Yes.
Despite the do not travel warnings?
Yeah, yes, Haitians live in Haiti. It's not our position that Haitians should leave Haiti. I mean, it'd be crazy for us to say that Haitians couldn't live in Haiti. It's their country. Of course Haitians should live in Haiti. There's no viable asylum, or use a technical term here, CAT claim, or withholding claim, for any Haitian seeking relief from going back to Haiti, to their homeland. The fact that there might be pockets of Haiti where there's higher crime rates, guess what? There's pockets of Chicago.
I was just about to say, what about Chicago in our country, man? What about Detroit? What about Compton? Yeah, we have pockets of, like, dangerous areas in our country. I don't give a shit if someone's like, there's pockets of dangerous areas in Haiti. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Go back to your home country.
It's just as high, right? There's pockets of cities like St. Louis with crime just as high. Pockets of Los Angeles, crime just as high. It has never been the case that having communities that have high crime rates is a basis for asylum. Never has been, never will be.
True. They always try to use that, like, oh, you say that Haiti is a dangerous country to travel to. Yeah, for Americans. Not for Haitians. Haitians are able to live in Haiti. What are we doing here? This is from New York over the last few days. Representative Espilliat concedes Mamdani-backed socialists have officially gone 3-3 and won all of their respective Democratic primaries for U.S. House in New York tonight. Their positions are some of the most extreme and far-left Dems we've seen. Daria-Liza Avila Chevalier, New York 13. Her positions are to abolish prisons, abolish ICE, abolish borders, defund the police, and that all deportations are wrong, including for violent criminals. She has called the U.S. an effing disgrace and said in a prior social media post, "I forgot to get napkins, so I just wiped my hand on the American flag behind me." Claire Valdez, New York 7, grants citizenship and voting rights to illegal aliens, use taxpayer funds for all transgender treatments, and eliminate private health insurance. And Brad Lander, New York 10, he also wants to abolish ICE, forgive all student loans, which is almost $2 trillion, and expand the Supreme Court. Mamdani gets a clean sweep, a bad night for Hakeem Jeffries, and big questions for where the Democratic Party is heading. No, there are not big questions for where the Democratic Party is heading. Anyone with any kind of brain activity knew that the Democratic Party was sliding into communism for years now. This is the Democratic Party. This is not a small minority. This is not like, oh, where are we heading? What's happening? This is what they are. This is what they have been. This is what they want. How the hell are these people anywhere near the position of authority? Really boggles the mind, don't it? As the NRCC is reacting to the socialist sweep in a statement to Fox News. Tonight wasn't just a bad night for so-called leader Hakeem Jeffries. It was the night the Democrat establishment officially surrendered to Zohran Mamdani and the socialist wing of their party. Every House Democrat in safe and competitive districts alike will now answer to the radicals calling the shots. How have they not known that this is what's been happening for years now? Like, even pre-COVID, the Democrat Party has been answering to the radicals. What are we doing here? I feel like the timeline has been altered somehow, and that everyone who is supposed to know what's going on has absolutely no fucking clue. There is no Democrat Party. The party of JFK is murdered. This is the DSA party now. Yeah, it has been. Has been answering since 2015. Yeah, right? Yeah, fucking right, dude. These cities are going to become hubs of infiltration into the rest of our country, and it will end up at your front door eventually. This is why I said, I fucking hate the do-nothing Republicans and the Republicans that let this shit happen as much as you do. But if you have the choice between a do-nothing Republican and one of these people in the Democrat Party, your only choice is to vote for the Republican. Abstaining is a vote for the Democrat. A vote for third party is a vote for the Democrat. And if you get that Democrat in, you will become like New York. You will become like Virginia. Your life will be irreversibly changed. You must get involved in your local politics. Isn't it a good thing that Mamdani is tasking the Democrats to an insane level? It will make it easier to make swing voters vote Republican? No! You are living in fantasy land, man! Communists do not play the political game. They play to win. And they are winning. This isn't going to change. You're in the Bay Area, it's cooked? Yeah, it's absolutely cooked. You must get involved and you must fight against them. Americans should be terrified by where the Democrat Party is headed. Yeah, you should have been terrified over a decade ago. Everyone saw this coming. It's like Paul said to that fucking Tom Emmer guy or whatever. Like, welcome, you've caught up to where your constituents were 11 fucking years ago. How is it? How? One of those races was a Jew versus a Jew. The Jew one, it had nothing to do with anti-Semitism per se. And we'll get to that as well, because someone tried crying about that, and it's like, you have no idea what's going on. Congratulations, constituents of New York 13. Your next congresswoman is the founder of an organization that calls for death to America and the total eradication of Western civilization. Great choice. And this shows her in a shirt that says apartheid divest, I believe is what that says. And CU, apartheid divest, CUAD, Columbia BDS, Marg Bar America, I guess is death to America in some Star Wars language. And then this is CUAP, apartheid divest, saying we are Westerners fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization. We stand in full solidarity with every movement for liberation in the global South. Our intifada is an internationalist one. We are fighting for nothing less than the liberation of all people. We reject every genocidal eugenicist regime that seeks to undermine the personhood of the colonized. That's true. They only advocate for genocide to white people. Don't worry about it. As the fascism ingrained in the American consciousness becomes ever more explicit and irrefutable, we seek community and instruction from militants in the global South, who have been on the front lines in the fight against tyranny and domination, which undergird the imperialist world order. Biplab Colby, which apparently means revolution must continue in a Star Wars language. Liberate what? Everyone is free. You just don't understand, man. Real communism hasn't been tried yet. It's amazing how they just scream this at the top of their lungs and we still have people telling us to slow down. We still have people telling us to slow down. We still have people trying to excommunicate others from any kind of job or social life by painting them as terrible racists or ists or phobes or whatever the fuck they want to lob at you. Don't notice what's happening with your eyes. Don't read their words verbatim. If you read their words about what they want and what they're going to do, you're the bad guy. Democratic Socialist Daraliza Avila Chevalier is a founder of CUAD, an organization with stated intentions to undermine and eradicate America through the use of violence in America. She's now the Democrat nominee for New York 13. And this is a list, I guess, from her website saying, 1. This action is the first of many. We will not stop until the university fully divests from all forms of settler colonial violence. Divestment is not an incrementalist goal. True divestment necessitates nothing short of the total collapse of the university structure and American empire itself. It is not possible for imperial spoils to remain so heavily concentrated in the metropole and its high cultural repositories without the continuous suppression of all populations that resist the empire's expansion. To divest from this is to undermine and eradicate America as we know it. 3, we refuse to allow Colombia to return to a state of normalcy. Normalcy is the structurally impelled displacement and eventual destruction of the Palestinian people. 4, we act in full support of the Palestinian resistance. This action is first and foremost an effort to extend the successes of the Palestinian resistance to the heart of the empire itself, to translate their resilience in Gaza to unrest and violence in America. These people are legit insane. These people are legitimately insane, and even more insane people are voting them into power. Chris Murphy here saying, I don't know, man. Who is the Democratic Party if it's not the voters? Democratic voters choose candidates, not party leaders. Party leaders need to listen to what the voters are telling us, and right now they're demanding our party be bolder. And he's responding to Jamie Harrison, who's questioning, I say this with no ill will or animosity. If you hate the Democratic Party, then please don't run for our nomination. Don't use our resources, don't rely on our volunteers, don't use our infrastructure, don't ask Democrats to invest their time, money, and energy in your campaign. Focus on building the party you actually support. Political parties aren't perfect, but they're built by millions of people who knock doors, make calls, organize meetings, and fight for the values they believe in. If you don't believe in the party, then don't ask its members to carry you across the finish line. Who the fuck is this retard? Who the fuck is this retard still living in like 1994? Former chair of the Democrats? I don't know if this guy has any prominent position of power, but absolutely he should not, and nobody should listen to him. He does not know where he is. He does not know what time it is. He has no idea what's happening in his own country, much less his own party. That guy is functionally retarded. And Christian over here saying, the total eradication of Western civilization is Chris Murphy's definition of being bolder. And finally, Democrats are bold enough to call for the things that they've been working towards my entire lifetime. He's right. When we were younger, they played coy about it, and they would enact things while publicly saying, no, we're not for that. You're crazy. And then everyone would call you crazy. And now they're just like, yeah, well, those crazy people were right, and we're actually just gonna start saying out loud the things that we want to have happen. Fuck you, fuck America, we're gonna wreck this bitch.
On something, Hasan, people will view him as like, oh, this is
like... They will view him as the Democrat voice, and he runs with Democrats, he tries to get involved with them, and he does so to their detriment. That is exactly right. Now, I disagree.
I think the only time politicians try to distance themselves from Hasan is because they are not in a position to step over the line yet. Hasan has already stepped over the line. He advocates exactly for everything that people in positions of power in the Democrat Party want, but some of them have not crossed the line into saying it outright like we've just been reading. Once they feel like they're in a position to be able to say these things outright, they will start doing it. And some have, as you can see in New York. I do not think that Mamdani will stay away from Hasan forever. He needed to in the beginning of his campaign so he could set up his entire communist network and promote candidates without having all of the radical things Hasan said applied to him too soon. I do not believe for a single second that Democratic politicians actually dislike Hasan and actually want to distance themselves from Hasan. They believe the same things as him. They want the same things as him. Some of them just need more time before they can publicly start saying the same things as Hasan. Every time they distance themselves from Hasan, they take him right back less than a month later. It's very naive, I feel like, to think that Hasan is actually doing any kind of damage. Hasan is the poster child for the Democratic Party, whether you would like to admit that he is or not. Silver lining, Seattle's commie infiltration has been on again, off again, and the radical Democrats are constantly warring with them. Mayor Katie Wilson is basically a lame duck, unlike Mamdani. Seattle is healthier than New York City, much to your shock. Yeah? It would be interesting if people could actually, once again, get involved locally, and then oust some of these commies who have been put in. That would be great.
Happy about this, by the way. The Democrat Party is being totally taken over by a bunch of fucking radical communists and socialists. Yep. They are. You're having the Democrat Party be totally taken over by socialism and by race communism and other bullshit like this. I think it's actually quite funny because I told people this is what was going to happen. I have. I've said this multiple times.
I mean, a lot of us have been saying it for a very long time, but people are just like, communism isn't a real threat in 2015. Communism isn't a real threat in 2018. Communism isn't a real threat in 2020. Kirsche, no one's gonna take you seriously if you're talking about communism being a threat. Holy shit, I hate those people.
Over and over and over. Leftists now, right? And so this is the new party of the left.
I think it's crazy how anyone wanted to, like, go after Elon Musk for doing a, like, my heart goes out to you, while people on the left are unironically, like, hiling. Well, actually, unironically, they are everything they try to accuse you of, because they know by your principles and by companies being cowardly, they can ruin your life by painting you as what they are.
And this is the reason why I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it because this is a very easy group to other. This is an easy group to demonize, and it's an easy group to take action against, right?
I wish he was right, but remember, part of the people attacking me for quote-unquote supporting violence is when I made a post celebrating Otoya Yamaguchi Day, an assassination of a communist Maoist political candidate in Japan, where he felt so bad, despite the person being a communist, for having taken another life, that he killed himself afterwards. He managed to buy Japan quite a lot of time by doing that. Communists should be treated with the correct ire, but they are not easy to other. They are the de facto ruling class at this time, people who support communists and socialists. I wish they were easy to other, but unfortunately they are the ones holding the reins of power until more of us can stand up and say, fuck you, communists actually aren't human and have killed even more people than the Nazis. We're not trying that in fucking America.
Right? And I think also they don't really appeal to the average, like they appeal to Democrats. They're going to win Democrat primaries. And it's because Democrats are, there is no cohesive ideology that Democrats exist around. There isn't.
What's that post where it's like, you can believe anything under a big tent Democrat policy, but you can't disagree with like positions on transgenderism and immigration. Therefore, the Democrat Party is the party of those two things specifically, right? And oh yeah, the normal people. And normies don't really pay attention. Normies don't really pay attention. There are so many people who are still like, oh, the Democrats are the peace and love and liberty party, and the Republicans are like a Christo-fascocracy. I don't want to live under Christian oppression, so I'm not going to vote for the Republicans. It's obviously Democrat all the way. And it's like, I don't know what fucking decade you're living in, Mr. Normie, but that's not where we are.
Gee, the Democrats exist around. There isn't. And so also this, let me see if I can pull it up.
Normies go
Free
off
Palestine,
vibes and big dick energy. Yeah. Once again, when I was in high school, we had in one of our classes, somebody was like, if you guys could vote, who would you vote for? One chick was like, Obama, because he's black, and that means he has a big dick, and that's what you want in a president. You want that big dick energy. And it's like, holy shit, I cannot believe people are this fucking stupid.
Congressman Dan Goldman. It's not Dan Goldstein. Is he a Jew? Like, is this the... I'm curious about, like, what is the... is Goldman a Jewish name? Like, I don't mean to be improper about this. I'm not trying to be racist. I literally am asking this. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is another let Gaza live, blood on your hands. Okay, right. So this is another Jew that's having free Palestine and Roman salutes shown right here. Okay. These free Palestine people are pissing me off. Well, that's because, I mean, none of these people should be in the country, by the way. Like, they should not be in the country. We've allowed them into the country. And I think that Democrats deserve this. They do. They deserve this because they have played footsie with these freaks for 15 years.
I think it's been way longer than 15 years. It's just been about 15 years since they could really get the ball rolling, right? It took decades and it took generations of indoctrination to be able to get them to this point where they can actually run as out and out socialists and communists, and people will clap for them and elect them instead of being like, hey, wait a minute. Everywhere communism's been tried, it has made the country worse off for decades. Why would we do something like that? This has been a plan for a very, very long time. A very long time. And I think that obviously Asmongold is like the normal man, so he's probably missing some of the context here. But I think he's still pretty correct on what he's saying.
Since Occupy Wall Street, they have completely shifted away from, class warfare and from class issues to identity issues.
No, that was always part of the goal. Once again, introduction to where we are right now. Just watch Yuri Bezmenov. I don't know if Asmongold's ever watched that Bezmenov interview on stream. I think he absolutely should. Getting Asmongold to watch that 1984 Bezmenov interview would be fucking huge. If you do not understand where we are, that interview will catch you up to speed. This started so fucking long ago. So fucking long ago. And feminists were always considered useful idiots. It wasn't just to draw along class lines in the USSR. They used feminism as a way to pit men and women against each other. And it worked fabulously in the United States. In the United States, we also have much more of the quote-unquote melting pot. Yes, Russia had many different ethnicities in it, but the way America is very obviously different from the way that Russia was. And they could use, on top of feminists, they could increase that to intersectionality. Intersectionality means they're getting everybody to fight along even more lines than just destroying the relationships between men and women and the nuclear family. This has been going on for a very long time. This has been all part of the plan, which is, again, why I wish somebody would talk about Bridge on a larger platform, because Bridge is informing people on how to keep this going while making sure people like Asmon don't notice what they're doing. Asmon 100% took things slow. He would actively avoid mentioning communism 2 years ago. You think he wanted to get everybody to understand some positions before he said something extreme? It's possible he's trying to drip feed to normies to get them to understand what's happening without shocking them, which is maybe why I had pushback when I talked about communism years ago. But it's like, I'm not going to drip feed, man. Because if I have to drip feed and it takes you 10, 15, 20 years to wake up, that's 10, 15, 20 years too fucking late. We are already past the demoralization period. We are in the period of normalization. And if they can finish that, we're fucked.
And this is what the Democrats deserve, because you brought these people into the country. You used all of these race politics issues. You pushed this over and over and over. And now, finally, Dr. Frankenstein's monster is attacking you. That's it. Yep. And they have created a Frankenstein's monster out of disaffected college kids, terrorist supporters, illegal aliens, basically non-Westerners who hate the West, political Islam. And you've taken all of these, and communism, obviously, right? And socialism and Marxism and all this. You've taken all of these pieces and you've put them together into one conglomerate. And the reality is that conglomerate is smaller but stronger than the Democrat Party. They're a lot strong because the Democrat Party doesn't have any real ideals anymore. They don't. There's nothing that the Democrat Party really stands for. The only thing the Democrat Party stands for is whatever Trump isn't, right?
Pretty much.
I will say that the DSA has a cohesive vision. They have a cohesive vision that I completely disagree with, and I want to deport almost every single one of them out of the country.
The biggest issue that a lot of people seem to have is underestimating their enemy. And I would wager, I can't remember everything that went on with it, but Sargon got attacked earlier this year, I believe. Because he was basically trying to say, you shouldn't underestimate the communists that are coming for you. They have these plans and they know how to make them work. And you should read what your enemy wants to do to you to understand what's going to happen and how to fight against it. I don't remember how he worded it, but there were some people who were like, ooh, Sargon's defending communism, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't think he's doing that. So I think a lot of people might underestimate, yeah, there's a lot of retards. There's a lot of retards, but as we've seen, do not ignore some of these retards, right? These retards, no matter how small they are, can cause huge fucking issues. And they might seem retarded, but a lot of them are following precise tactics. It's on purpose. Just because they're a communist, just because they've been propagandized, just because they're a useful idiot, doesn't mean you should not be wary of them.
But I respect the fact that they have an idea. They have an idea, a vision, a plan. And that is something more than the Democrats can say. The Democrats can't say they have a plan. They don't have a vision. Their only vision is just being antithetical to Trump. But what the remaining American Democrats are going to have to realize is that you have played identity politics for so long that you have both won and lost. You have won and lost in the identity politics game. You have lost your own party because you have achieved your goal. You have effectively created a minority majority of people that prioritize foreign interests, tribal conflicts, ethnic superiority, and other forms of, tribalism.
Well, I have a tab on ethnic superiority.
Over the American rule of law, over the Constitution, and over Western civilization. They've succeeded. They've totally succeeded in that, and it has been their complete undoing. And I think that they deserve every single little bit about it. Successfully failed. It's going to ruin them. It is. And I think that also the moment that you play some jihadi, right? Or these people, this is a good example.
I don't know if I could convince Asmon to play the Bezmenov thing if he hasn't watched it on the stream, but I genuinely think that he should. I think that would be incredibly helpful for where we are at this point. It's like baby's introduction to how communists work. Granddad, who lived under legit Nazis and commies, used to say they aren't different at all, they just tell different lies. Unironically, this is getting close to marking Jewish places in World War II with the star. It is. It's a very worrying time to live in, and your granddad's absolutely fucking right. The legit Nazis wanted to create some sort of master race above everybody else, whereas the communists were like, hey, you know what? We're gonna accept most races. Not all of them, but we'll accept most races. You'll just be equally as oppressed as under the Nazis. Don't worry about it. Everyone's equally discriminated against, except certain people are more equal than others. Must learn the hard lesson from the failure of GG. Never underestimate an enemy that seems ridiculous. While you laugh at them, they can and will be undermining and outmaneuvering you into positions of power. I would say that some people involved in that probably weren't dumb, and they just are the type of content creator who is like, I don't want to fix the problem because if the problem gets fixed, I have to find another way to make money. And I disdain people like that because it's like, why do you want to complain about this shit forever, man? The point of complaining is because you want to find a solution. You are baffling to me. This guy, Scooch, New York City, I don't know who he is, but he said, after 47 years as a Democrat, tonight I cast my last vote as a registered Democrat in NYC. The NYC DSA is sweeping NYC congressional primaries tonight, and the Democratic Socialists of America have taken over what was left of the NYC Democratic Party. Congratulations, kids. You too, boy, at NYC mayor, you won. Now it's time for the 82,203 Democrats, as of the last count today, who cast ballots against the DSA candidates in congressional districts 7, 10, and 13 to make some hard choices. Others, like me, who don't live in these districts, have tough choices to make too. The principle that one cannot negotiate with terrorists also applies to the DSA and the foreign influences in it. As Nadia Velazquez, Reynoso, Brooklyn, and Espaillat, New York, found out tonight, forget the DSA's new Democratic Party. The battle for America has begun. It's time to take a side and stand for your country. This is what you stood for, you retard. This is the logical conclusion of everything you've been pushing and voting for decades. How is it that one is just that fucking ignorant? It has to be on purpose, right? There's no way. Christian Haynes, writing banger after banger, by the way, he said, watching all these Democrats acting like deer caught in headlights over the fact that a literal communist like Daria Litsa Chevalier won a congressional primary in New York City. How could this happen? What do you mean, how could this happen? You people paved the way for this. Congratulations on getting what you wanted. Liberals spent decades seeking to mass import the third world at the same time that they were teaching young people that borders are violence, police are violence, prisons are violence, capitalism is violence, whiteness is violence, biological sex distinctions are violence. America is founded on violence, and Western civilization itself is the ultimate manifestation of evil. You said that everything was violence except for actual violence, which is an act of liberation against oppressors. And then you expected those same young people to remain nice little NPR liberals who vote for more child tax credits and YIMBY affordable housing proposals? Oh, you say this isn't what you meant? What the hell did you think would happen when you removed every possible reason for people to defend Western civilization? Every single liberal today feigning shock at what is happening within their own party is lying through their teeth, whether they realize it or not. They're surprised by the sudden emergence of a monster that they created. These people are directly responsible for the very thing they say now terrifies them. And I have no reason to suspect a single one of them will ever learn the hard lesson about how we got to this point. And now, an enormous chunk of those same liberals will flock to the GOP and claim they want to fight the rising tide of third world Marxism. And their inevitable solution to combating this evil will be that Republicans need to become progressive libtards, just like themselves. He's literally me, but more eloquent, for real, for real. Hard pass, Frankenstein should be treated no different than his monster. You are my enemy, just like the DSA freak shows you helped create. And he's completely right. It's exactly what I said earlier. You're gonna see a lot of these people coming out and being like, I didn't know! I must fight for my country now! No, you knew. You knew the whole time. You just thought that you would be insulated from the effects of it. Fuck you. You get what you fucking deserve. You are not going to be part of the team. No one should trust you. You fucking Benedict Arnold. Michael Knowles, quote retweeting Hasan Piker, calls for the murder of U.S. senators, wants the streets to run red in capitalist blood, says America deserved 9/11, doesn't want to be called a terrorist. He's a freedom fighter.
Stop calling me a terrorist. That's what I wish. I wish they stopped calling me a radical. None of these people are radical. They just want healthcare. They want to end.
He literally did the meme! I'm not radical. I just want healthcare, as they're stabbing you to death.
American militarism. They want to spend money on roads, on infrastructure, on schooling, on healthcare rather than bombs overseas, because it seems like for far too long, that's what our focus has been. And not the focus of the American people, but the focus of the American government has been in that direction. We have to put an end to our endless militarism, and we have to focus on ourselves, and we have to heal this nation and repair it. Nice to meet you.
You know, this is probably exactly the reason why a lot of the useful idiots will just be like, you're a Nazi. I don't have any proof. I know this marks you as an acceptable target for harm. You know? That's why I call you that. I have no reason to call you that for any other reason. Because they're so used to everyone on their side playing subversive word games, they just assume you are also doing the same thing. It's fucking crazy. Weird to hear a literal fucking tumor ask for healing. It's all so tiresome, chat. Hamtramck, Michigan now allows religious animal slaughter at home, including backyards. Again, this person posted it as if it was recent. It's not. It's from 2023. So they've been allowed to do ritualistic religious animal slaughter in their backyard since 2023. Kind of fucking crazy. I think it's a pertinent thing to post now, but I think instead of making it sound like it was a recent decision, you should definitely say this has been happening since 2023, because that makes it even fucking worse. Trump saying nice thing, but what is he gonna do about it? Just let federal judges cuck him again, probably? I don't know.
Every election's important. We're doing very well. They want a lot of communists to come in. I'm saying it a little bit differently, but the people that they're pushing are communists, and this country is not gonna have communists. Thank you very much. Every election's important.
See, I like him saying that. I like to hear it, but what are you gonna fucking do about it? Because there's a lot of communists who have already been elected, buddy. What are you gonna do? Democrat, a Massachusetts Senate candidate, Seth Moulton, appeared to assault a Fox reporter for asking if he endorses Nazi-tattooed Graham Plattner. It's not exactly a good look if a lot of people on the left have been trying to ruin people's lives by calling them Nazis for over a decade. And then a guy who has a literal Nazi tattoo, who knew it was a Nazi tattoo, who had Nazi beliefs, is literally a Democratic candidate. What are we doing here?
Do you endorse Graham Plattner in Maine?
Who
are you who are asking this question? You gotta do a better job at hanging on to your phone.
You ought to do a better job at hanging on to your... What an asshole! What a fucking asshole, man! Jeremy Carl, senior fellow at Claremont Institute, former research fellow at Hoover Institute, U.S. Department Assistant Secretary of the Interior. Let's read how many years behind the times this guy is. My takeaways from tonight's congressional elections in New York City. 1. I despise Mamdani, but he has shown himself to be an incredibly formidable politician. Underestimate him at your own peril. He's a formidable politician because he is both a Islamist and a communist, two groups of people who use lying and obfuscation in order to get into power and also get you to defend them while they implement their tactics. He is formidable for that reason. If you do not understand that, you do not know where we are. He endorsed against 2 congressional incumbents in high-risk races, and looks like he's going to win both of them with Lander and Chevalier. Plus his third outsider endorsement of Valdez also won easily. 2. Mass immigration and the cultural drift has truly made New York City a post-American city. That's the future of America if we don't close the border and have mass deportations. All 3 of Mamdani's endorsers are literal self-declared socialists who will now be in Congress. I mean, he's correct about that. We needed mass deportations decades ago, but the next best time is literally today. 3. Israel, and in particular IPAC, are absolutely toxic in a Democrat primary, especially anywhere vaguely progressive. Israel was arguably the central issue in all 3 of these primaries, and the candidate that was more hostile to Israel won in each. Expect a lot of Democrats to swing much harder against both IPAC and Israel going forward. If Republicans want to win, they will do the same thing. Israel, and in particular IPAC, are absolutely toxic to any primary for an American candidate. If I, someone who wants to vote for Republicans, who wants to fix things, sees a Republican talking about Israel in his primary election, why the fuck would I vote for him? You are in America running to be an American politician. Shut the fuck up about Israel. None of us fucking care. Show that you care about America. That is what we want. How is IPAC not considered foreign lobbying? That's a great fucking question. 4, the radicalism of these soon-to-be congressmen is going to be a headache for Democrat leadership in the House and a gift to the GOP. No, it's not. No, it's absolutely not. If you think communists getting elected is a gift to the GOP, again, you do not understand where the fuck we are. A lot of people in the GOP probably do not understand where the fuck we are. This is not a gift to the GOP that communists are being elected. This is inherently horrible, and people need to actually focus on winning and putting America first for once in their fucking lives. Shame IPAC isn't toxic in the GOP. Too many evangelical Bible thumpers still kicking, unfortunately. It's very unfortunate. I don't want to see the GOP start being like, you know, let's just kill everyone, right? Like the Democrats do. But you need to stop talking about Israel. Stop taking money from IPAC. Americans don't want to fucking hear about how much you're for a foreign country. Americans want to hear about how you're going to improve our lives, as you are supposed to be an American representative. If you want to be an Israeli representative, I don't think they'll let you, but go the fuck over there and do it in Israel. Mamdani's face looks like a Bond villain. When I first saw a picture of Mamdani back when he first started running, I was like, anyone who trusts this guy is just a fucking retard. He quite literally has a duper's face. His eyes and his smile do not match if you cover one up. This is a man whose entire life is built on nothing but lying to you. And if you can't see it, you deserve what is coming. One can only hope more people come up straight saying we need to get rid of the socialists. Yes, holy shit. The future of the Democrat Party is radical and post-American in its orientation. Since all of these candidates are in the world's media capital, they are going to get tons of attention. That isn't going to play well for the Dems in 2026 and 2028. This guy's a fucking retard. This is going to absolutely play well. This is what the Democratic Party wants. This is the best play they could have made. What are you talking about? How are you so out of touch? He looks just the same as Sadiq Khan in that way. Funny that, you know? It would be funny if it weren't so sad. IPAC isn't considered foreign lobbying because the people running it are American citizens. It is literally not foreign influence by definition. Now, CARE, on the other hand, That's really grotesque that that's a loophole, man. Aesthetica responded, 1, these candidates are communist terrorists. They're DSA members, which is just the political arm of Antifa, a designated terrorist organization. We now have 3 terrorists, or at the very least terrorist sympathizers, in the House. They're not socialist, and we shouldn't downplay their radicalism. These people would put white people in camps if they could, and he's absolutely correct about everything he said here. Calling them socialist, I think, kind of downplays it. But there was even a point in time where I was like calling a spade, calling a communist, and people on Twitter were like, Kirsche so disingenuous, she's calling these people communists when they're actually socialists, and it's like, I'm not the one being disingenuous. They're telling you they're a socialist. They're actually a communist. It's just like, let's stop fucking arguing semantics here. All right. He said, I don't think the Democrat establishment will fight them or wants to fight them. They haven't fought Mamdani at all, and establishment Democrats understand the importance of their militants. That's why they play dumb when you bring up Antifa. And again, he's completely right. The boomer has no idea what the fuck is going on right now. Whatever faction of old school Democrats remain, they are the minority. This is now the party of radical communists like Mamdani, which aligns a lot more with the views of their voters who have been significantly more radical than their politicians since Trump was elected. And this also goes back to, like, how long does it take normies to wake up to things? Back in, like, 2010 to 2012, I was talking about the issues with giving children hormones because there were articles about children being put on hormones for transgender stuff back then. And the majority response I was given from people I talked about in real life, mostly men, was, this isn't my problem, why do I need to care about it? This is only affecting women, and a lot of feminists wanted this kind of thing to happen anyways. Why do I need to care? And I was like, well, you need to care because your parental rights are going to come under attack eventually. And if your wife wants to trans your children and you're against it, you're going to be thrown in prison. Wow, what I said has actually came true. What imagine that. And a lot of other people, men and women, when I would talk about these issues with the, like, transgender activist cabal back in the day, they would say, well, the activists are just a small vocal minority. And I'm like, no, the activists are the majority. The activists and the fetishists and people who are abusing this identity in order to push politics, in order to push their fetishes, those are the majority. The minority are the actual unironic, diagnosed, dysphoric people that are being used as a cudgel and being taken advantage of by the fetishists and by the ideologues. No one believed me. Everyone said I was crazy. And this was, again, like 2010. It's like, I really hate people when you point out reality and they're just like, oh, well, that's just the minority. No, wake the fuck up, brother, man. And then Aesthetica caps it off by saying, it's why they can run outright communists in New York City and win. It's not that Mamdani is a tour de force or an incredible politician. He's not. He won because they finally have candidates who are as radical as Democrat voters. This is absolutely fucking true. This is 100% fucking true. This is how people in Virginia got elected, by saying, I want to see my political opponents murdered. I want to see their children die in their arms. And Democrat voters said, yes, I want to elect that. Something Democrat voters in places like New York City have been complaining about for years. Remember that most of these voters are extremely radical foreigners who came from backwards third world countries and hate white people. As you said, this is what happens when you allow mass immigration. Dr. Malouf said, I used to think Zohran Mamdani was one of those cultural Muslims who didn't really care much about religion and was more of a third worldist using his Muslim background for identity politics and votes. It's becoming increasingly more obvious by the day that he's an actual extremely radicalized Shia Muslim practicing taqiyya all along. This man is a monster. Genuinely, I have zero fucking clue how anyone still gives benefit of the doubt. And then someone posted this video here saying Islam and the Communist Democrat Party.
I was an extremist, Islamist. I would only vote left.
Why is that?
I saw them as very stupid. I would fear the conservatives because
I know who this guy is. Not the turban guy, but the guy interviewing. I know who that guy is, but I can't remember his fucking name.
That's not someone they can brainwash. But the left, I know they have no values and no principles to begin with. I dare you to find one Islamic extremist that votes for Donald Trump. They'd give their vote to the leftist who wants to run around in pride parades. And Islamic extremists are against gays and homosexuals and transgenders, but they want the left to go and get busy with that. They want them, go speak about the climate, go speak about abortion, go kill yourselves, go do that.
What is the fundamentalist and jihadi agenda for America?
The future of America has to be Muslim.
And people will be like, you're an extremist because you're repeating what this guy said. This is from their own mouths what they want to happen to America. They're electing people that will continue that cause. This is the road. My joke that I made years ago about how America will be conquered by Muslims, they'll get rid of all the gays, and then China will come in and get rid of all the kebab, and then we can finally try and take our country back by removing the Chinese. I don't want that to come true, but it seems like my joke was actually just a prediction. I'm fucking sick of it. How can I make jokes? How can I be a comedian when this is the reality I must contend with? The Indian lobby groups across New Zealand have put forward an ultimatum to our political parties. They have identified their 18.4% ethnic voting bloc and claim they will influence their communities to vote, based on which party presents the most fit-for-purpose policies that combat hate speech and enforce social cohesion. Hey, remember how Georgia just made that Hinduphobia law? Hey, are you paying attention yet? What an obnoxious display of hostility and a perfect example of how multiculturalism completely undermines a Western democracy. All foreign lobby groups should be disbanded immediately and hostile foreigners sent back to their home countries. We need remigration now. And this page says the New Zealand Buddhist Council, Hindu Council of New Zealand, ethnic and faith leaders give election ultimatum to political parties on hate provocation. When it comes to politicians suffering from protest in front of their houses, Parliament moves at Dame Lisa Carrington and Sir Richard Hadley speed to bring in mitigating legislation. When it comes to the hate-filled incitement to burn down mosques and temples, the 18.4% of the ethnic voting population of New Zealand receives well-intentioned lip service at best and absolute silence at worst from the political party leaders. Hey, I have a question. There were some people in chat earlier saying, oh, you could band together with the Muslims. They also don't like Hindus. How come the Hindus here are backing the Muslims? How come there's a little bit of a coalition here? Because getting rid of the Western nation trumps absolutely any other kind of blood feud. The Royal Commission warned of such incitement and provocation 7 years ago. Successive governments have put the issue in the too hard basket. The silence from two of the political party leaders also speaks volumes. This is not an abstract concern. Our communities live with this fear. In the recent past, some of our places of worship have already been burned, fire damaged, bomb threats made, and we have received violent intimidation letters. Hey, who's burning down all those churches and Japanese shrines? Who's doing that? Today, children are scared to go to places of worship due to threats of being burnt. When innocent worshippers have to stand guard and employ security to ensure safety of mosques, temples, and gurudwaras, and when the ethnic and faith community voices are ignored with platitudes, the only option that remains in a democracy is the party vote option. We want to see what the specific fit-for-purpose policies are with respect to such hate and the need for social cohesion. As ethnic and faith leaders, we shall make these policies known to our communities for their decision-making on the party vote. We do not want New Zealand to become a hate-divided society, where hate is normalized and violent threats to burn are tolerated as free speech. We seek fit-for-purpose legislative settings and community-focused social cohesion and education programs that protect every New Zealander, regardless of their faith, ethnicity, or background. As ethnic and faith leaders representing diverse communities across Aotearoa, New Zealand, we come together with one voice and one resolve. We all share a sacred duty to protect places of worship, uphold the sanctity of life, and affirm the timeless principle that humanity is one family. These values demand that we speak out in defense of social cohesion and mutual respect. We can no longer tolerate violent threats to burn temples, gurudwaras, and mosques. Enough is enough. Written by Abdur Razak, a spokesperson. Need for social cohesion. Translation, do not notice. Yep. Translation, you need to make laws to prevent people from noticing, meanwhile protecting us from taking over your country. It's also tiresome, chat. And this person said, when we say democracy cannot survive in a multicultural society, this is what we mean. This letter essentially says, now that there are enough of us here, do as we say, or we'll make sure you can't win elections by all voting against you. South Asian communities in England have already done the same thing, but less openly. The deal was that Labour politicians would ignore the rape gangs in exchange for the community's votes. Democracy only functions as intended in a homogenous society. And this is why people had been saying assimilation was so important. If you cannot assimilate, if you vote along your ethnic bloc, if you put your country before America, you're not an American. You don't belong in America.